Violin is without a doubt is one of the most beautiful instruments in the world of music. Wedding, you need music. Procession, you need music. Temple, you need music. Funeral, you need music. When we talk about Indian classical music, it is not only for entertainment, it is for the soul. The music is something
Once Pooja said, नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है, गर याद रहे. Through this line of Gulzar, he tried to portray that no matter what, a person who is an artist, he is immortal through his work. Namaskar. Welcome to Philos Media presents series Sadhakara Hadiyali, a special episode. Today we are blessed with Mysure Manjunatha, and I am Swarnali Dutta, St. Philomena's College, Post-Graduation Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you, Swarnali.
He started his journey at very young age as a prodigy in stage with his father and brother. He is disciple and son of Dr. Mahadevappa and brother of Dr. Nagraj. He has won so many awards, including he is the youngest recipient of award who won Sangeet Natak Academy Award, then Karnataka Rajyotsava Award given by Karnataka government, Excellence Award given by American Institute of World Culture, and list goes on. Welcome to you again, sir.
Swarnali.
Sir, as we know that what you are today, how you got inspiration to pursue this as a musician, a career? I mean, I know that you have so many options out there, but why you choose this only?
Swarnali, I am very happy to be spending some time with you today, and basically I'm coming from the family of musicians. My father, as you just now announced, is one of the very renowned veteran violinists, and he also belongs to the lineage of Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja is supposed to be one of the greatest composers ever in Indian classical music. My father's guru happened to be Tyagaraja. And naturally, music was in my family, number one. Number two, my brother, Mysore Nagraj, also is one of the he's my elder brother. He's also a very renowned musician. So, when you have music in the family itself, naturally you have more inclination towards classical music, and this is how it works. But quite surprisingly, when I was a small boy, I did not show much interest. I used to hate music. And where my father was already a reputed veteran violinist, my brother, who is my elder brother, who was already performing very well, but still I refused to learn music. My father was so angry, very angry. He said, what happened to my second son? Because my first son is already performing everywhere. This stupid second son is showing no interest in music. That's what my father always used to think. One day it so happened, I was just 7 years old. I was forcibly taken to a music concert. I was forcibly made to sit behind him on the stage. Thousands of people, music concert happened. I did not know anything about classical music concert. But still I had to sit. So many people were there. Concert went on for 3 hours. I did not know how to enjoy music and all. I was looking at all the thousands of people enjoying music. I didn't know what the hell they are all enjoying. And after the concert, the organizers came and then put garland to my father. Huge round of applause, even for my brother, accompanist, even the tambura guy, who also got the garland. I was the only one who did not get the garland. I was just 7 years old. I poked my father from the behind. Daddy, garland for me. My father said, shh, chup. I said I was persisting. I wanted a garland. Then the organizer asked my father what is happening. Does he need some water or something? Then he said, no, he wants a garland. I'm telling him that, he did not do anything. Why should he get a garland? He's useless man, sitting, simply wasting his time on the stage. And then why should he get a garland? My father said. The organizer announced publicly that, ladies and gentlemen, look at the young kid who is a naughty and then who is demanding a garland on the stage. Everybody were amused because I was a small kid. They all clapped. Just for me, I took it very seriously. It was the greatest shame. It was not a shame. For me, I took that way. I did not even raise my head. Then organizer said, Manju, you practice very well, play violin. You play here next time. I will give you not one but 5 garlands. That was the catching point for me. The person who never cared to even touch the violin, the same day night, after coming home, I begged my father to start teaching me violin. That was the beginning. And the rest it is so story, Swarnali. I was blessed to learn few ragas beautifully and then things. Next year, same place, same festival, with the same set of musicians, I played my first concert. Got not 1 but 5 garlands. And I was 8. And then the story, the travel started.
Wow, that's so nice. So as in your name, there's a Mysore, in your brother name also. So how this city helped you out what you are today?
Swarnali, you know about Mysore. Mysore is considered one of the great cultural capitals. Every city has its own unique feature, just like Calcutta, just like Thanjavur, Mumbai, every single city. Especially Mysore and music and culture and literature always, have a special relationship. Mysore Maharajas, kings of Mysore always used to be great patrons of music. My father also had got the music lineage. So usually when you say a certain city is famous for certain thing, naturally what you mean is people know more about the value of that particular thing. So music was always respected in Mysore. And naturally it is almost like it is much easier to grow certain crops at different place. Assam, the moment we say Assam, the first thing that comes to our mind is tea. Because even if you throw the tea leaves on the road, it will grow. Because the climate is so important, climate is so favorable, the environment is so favorable, the soil is favorable. Similarly, Mysore has always been center of music. And that is why, my father, even though he was born in a remote place, he shifted to Mysore because he thought Mysore would be more important place, more better place for music growth. So that is how the Mysore connection began. I was born in Mysore itself. Naturally, since we travel everywhere, we don't have, South Indians usually we don't have second family name thing, most of us, right? We have only our names. And usually sometimes in music scenario, it's better to have 2 names. So when you don't have a family name, what do? You don't invent a family name, it is not possible. So naturally the certain tradition in South Indian music, Carnatic music field is to have prefix your city's name. So that is how the Mysore, because I started playing everywhere across the country when I was just 9 years, 7 years and later on. So they all used to, oh, Manjunatha from Mysore, such a wonderful kid playing my violin. So Mysore, Manjunatha, Mysore, that's how it started. Same thing happened to my brother also. We were known as Mysore brothers.
So, if not in this place, if not you are now a renowned violinist. So, if not violinist, what will you become?
Swarnali, it's a very tough question. I don't know. So many options, but I think I would become a painter, because painting is something which I love. Even today, little painting I do, So basically, I was a science student. I used to love science a lot, mathematics and science and that. But still, sometimes your brain is science, your heart is art. So simply, ultimately, art community. Of course, you also belong to art community in a way. We are the ones who want to see the beauty in the life, And I'm not saying science is useless. Of course, science is so important to us. But artist is somebody who gives spices to the life. You cannot imagine a modern world without artists, So either painting or film, even sports, everything that is the exotic thing in life today, most of them belong to science, art.
So, as you have seen that you are from age of 8 you are in music industry. So, by decades, in your time, in your watch, how this music industry has changed, and how you witnessed that change gradually.
So many changes, just like in all different fields of the society, Swarnali. Music is also changing. Once upon a time, when in the last century, Indian classical music used to be only for temples, Maharaja's court, in small places and all. Now we have taken music to totally different level altogether. I have played music concerts in some of the topmost places, including stadiums. I have played in one place. There were 2.5 lakh people listening to classical music in Koppal. You can search the YouTube link and you will see 2.5 lakhs people. And now, once upon a time, only classical music lovers would come to classical music concert. Now you want to attract more number of people. Only aged people once upon a time. Now younger people, they all have some kind of the passion for music. Ultimately, Indian classical music, Swarnali, is considered one of the greatest classical music systems in the world. I'm not making this statement because I'm a classical musician of India. The entire world says so. So, because of all these influences, once upon a time there was a Gharana concept. Gharana means Gwalior Gharana, Kirana Gharana, Tanjavur Gharana. The people, musicians living in that particular place, they had one special unique flavor of their music, because they were not influenced by other places. Now, sitting here, you know what is happening in London. Sitting here, you know what is happening in Japan. Whether Russia is attacking Ukraine tomorrow or not, you will know the moment it does. So the influence ultimately changes the style of art also. Similarly, Indian classical music, I don't know whether you have the liberty to change the basics, but the way you interpret it at different place takes different shape, take different shades and color depending upon the situation and things. So that is why we have even tried many experimental music, the fusion music, and I have performed with the drums, piano, some Western classical music, jazz group, that. All these are changes, and we have been, when I was a kid, the music system, and then now it is much more sophisticated. Musicians, once upon a time had even difficulties in traveling from one city to now most of the time I'm in the airport. right? So most of the time I'm traveling internationally in some of these topmost hi-fi situation. So the music and musicians' lifestyle is also gradually changing.
Ago, when it was Gharana, like Benares Gharana, as you say, Tanjore Gharana and all, like they have their own taste. But these days, like we can see that fusion music, like what Vidya Vox is doing. So don't you think that it's losing that, that value of the classical music, or value of that music, that particularity, originality of it?
True, absolutely true. But as a sensible musician who is very responsible means what? Somebody who has a deep sense of classical music without any changes, the original flavor of music he should master. At the same time, at a different context, he should be, because Indian classical music gives you this little freedom, because Indian music is improvised basically. If you improvise too much and it totally changes its original shape, then the problem what you are talking about arises. If a musician is a very sensible man who knows the value of classical music just for that particular context, right, that particular occasion, if he slightly changes it and then again he comes back to the original thing, then he is much more responsible and more more sensible musician. So every musician, every artist should have this kind of attitude. They should know the importance of keeping the tradition. At the same time, being able to slightly modify it for that particular occasion, and again being able to come back. True.
And as you know, that violin is, 300 around years ago, that it come from Greece or European place. So we are standing in 2022 now. So how this violin is so, it's still now in movies and all, in Bollywood or everywhere in India. So how it has changed the music industry, you believe?
Very, very much, Swarnali, very, very much. It's a very, very important issue, that topic you raised, because violin is without a doubt is one of the most beautiful instruments in the world of music. Globally, everywhere you have violin. European classical music, Western pop, jazz music, and whatever, rock music, you have country music, Japanese, Chinese, wherever you go, you have violin. There is no other violin, no other instrument, no better instrument than violin, which has adapted to different genre of music across the globe. As you rightly mentioned, when violin came to India about 200 plus years, 300 years ago, that was the time of independence thing happening. We used to have more Atmanirbhar thing, right? Now everything Indian, because they used to hate everything that is coming from Europe and all. Violin also came from Europe. But some of the topmost musicians, music composers of our country, after listening to violin, they thought, such an amazing instrument. How much emotion it expresses. Ultimately, music instrument is something. Music, what is music, Swarnali? Music is something you want, those things, those emotions that you cannot express through words. You want to express through music. You see, it has so much of meaning. So much of meaning. Music can make you cry. Music can make you dance. Music can put you to sleep. Wedding, you need music. Procession, you need music. Temple, you need music. Funeral, you need music. Mobile, music. Everything is music. Even silence is also part of music. So, what I mean to say, that expressiveness, music, the violin did a fantastic job. So, that is the reason why violin was adapted into Indian classical music. But we had to change the tuning system, and Western classical scenario, they stand and then sit on the chair and then play violin. In Indian music, our tradition is to sit down. Sitar player, tabla player, mridangam, they all sit. Everybody sits and then you stand and then play. No, they had to figure out a totally different posture altogether. They did it. Violin adapted. Later on, it went to, it came to South Indian music first and then went to Hindustani music. Later on, even Bollywood music, film music, they all figured out the way violin is used in Western classical. You listen to Western classical music, the symphony orchestra, 50 violins, 40 violins. Violin as a solo instrument, as a collective instrument, as a group instrument, whether it is solo, group or whatever, it has that capacity. Even the chorus thing, no other instruments can match violin chorus thing. So, because of all its capabilities, everybody wanted violin. Film music, violin, group violin. So, the ghazal, violin, light music, violin, classical music, violin, everywhere it is violin. And if violin was invented very long ago, even Goddess Saraswati herself would have taken violin. And I request, if Goddess Saraswati comes to me, I request her, Saraswati Ma, please play violin once. Veena, you have played all these years. Why not violin? I will request her. Even without my request, she will play because she loves violin though. So that is the capacity of violin in Swarnali.
So, as you said that violin is like this important. So, how in Sandalwood industry, whenever you talk about Karnataka music, classical music, because this violin adopted by South mostly. So, when it about Sandalwood industry, what will you say about? I mean, how it has changed and how the violin has changed or might change the music industry that Sandalwood right now have?
Sandalwood means Karnataka. I'm not expert in it, but still my general opinion about this thing, I would say, not only Sandalwood, Swarnali, the modern trend, the thing is, many people think that maybe youth like the drums, beats, tish, 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 disco kind of situation. We assume, and of course there is a big section of youth always like percussion, but that is only for the temporary period, because music ultimately is more sensible, much more sublime. Even today, we talk about Lata Mangeshkar's thousands of songs, yesteryear's songs. Even today, when she sang, "You were not even born," I was not even born. But when we listen to that, the joy, the happiness, you see, instantaneous fun versus eternal happiness. Two wonderful things. You eat a pizza, or let's say some French fries. You are so happy. But when you eat an authentic Mysore thali, right? That is totally different. You cannot compare the happiness of satisfaction of Mysore thali to the instantaneous fun of eating a McDonald's French fry or something like this. I am not saying this is bad or this is good, this is better. Two different parameters. Something instantaneous, fun, but may not be long lasting. So, same thing has happened to our film industry also. We maybe music directors might think that, more disco kind of thing, ding, ding, dang, ding, 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 might attract young kids. May be true to some extent, but something which is really beautiful is always appreciated. We are forgetting that. By saying something superfluous thing, I might attract a small crowd today, but by telling the eternal truth, right? The time will always decide that this is the original beauty. That's what happening.
So I can see that how much passionate about violin. So like you choose this as your profession, but what if I ask you that what's your hobby? What will you say?
Even now my hobby is playing violin. Because now we are so much obsessed, Swarnali. I'm pretty sure this happens with Professor himself and all the people. They love. You ask even politician, maybe how much you scold them. They are so much immersed with that. They have so much of passion for that. Everybody. So for me, violin, music, and of course apart from that, since almost 6 to 8 months a year I am out of the country traveling across. Naturally, I have so many friends across the globe. They all take me to different wonderful places. The nature is something we all love. You also love nature, no? See, tell me who doesn't like nature? We all love nature. Spending more time with the nature, being, especially, if you go to Grand Canyon or Alps in Switzerland, just look, even Himalayas, Rishikesh, and any place which is naturally more beautiful, you try to connect yourself with the nature, either today or maybe tomorrow. That's how it happens. For me, listening to different genre of music, I'm not a movie person, I'm not a sports person. Once upon a time I used to play cricket so much, then I gave it up. So reading book, sometimes I do read, but now even the books are also vanishing, because when after the invention of mobile, many wonderful things are taking the back seats, and but traveling, listening to instrumental, easy music things, and enjoying the nature. Now I want to kind of concentrate a little more on agriculture thing. I'm trying to get some lands nearby, so I want to spend some relaxing thing. Our next interview will take place there.
Sure, sir. So, as you said that mobile and all, digitalization has changed so many things. So, don't you think that using we can get so many apps, like in iPod or iPhone, we can get so many apps. Through that we can play music without even having that the instrument, the traditional instrument. Don't you think that this thing are kind of letting the downfall of the traditional music?
Absolutely, Swarnali, there is no doubt about it. The mobile not only has so much of distraction, not only in terms of what you mentioned, even the personal relationship. The personal relationship even in the family is being destroyed, because we all tend to spend longer time with the mobile. Nobody has escaped from mobile. Even after talking, after you go, I will also take my mobile and then watch. It's so, we are all addicted to this. Every single lifestyle happens with this. Every single thing. Where it is taking it is slowly destroying one-to-one relationship. The joy of family all coming together, sitting and then enjoying the lunch. No. Now TV is another thing. The everywhere TV. Nowadays, I'm not saying TV is bad, mobile is bad. Of course, they are very essential. But how much importance and then how much duration it has to be done, we don't have any idea. The music ultimately, Swarnali, let's say I'm unhappy, I'm sad today. You come and then say, oh Manjunathi. It has a personal touch. My mom comes and then, Manju, yak sari hogutte kanappa. The moment my mother touches my head, your mother touches your head, your brother, whoever, father, that. So the mobile, you touch, you make your mobile touch your all over your head, nothing will happen. That personal touch is being lost. Even for music also, the machine can produce sound. Machine cannot produce the emotion. Ultimately, no machine can replace emotions. So that is the reason why all this app, to some extent, you get some sound. That's it. But when ultimately, we have so many modern equipments, Swarnali, that replaces the Lata Mangeshkar voice. Ra 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 ra. For example, only machine can ta ra 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 pa ma ga ma pa. So you change the voice, it sounds like Lata Mangeshkar singing. But what about the feeling? You can imitate the voice, you cannot imitate the feelings, emotions, and that personal touch. So it is all only to that extent it is fine. It cannot take you much deeper.
So, as you said that by generation the music has changed. So how you believe that how music, as you said, the music also can talk. They can also express emotions and all. So how music has changed the society?
Music really has a tremendous influence on society, number one. And music, in a way, once upon a time, music was practiced not only for the entertainment sake. It was also practiced as a spiritual tool. Music, yoga, they are all practiced together. Because ultimately, Indian classical music, when we talk about Indian classical music, it is not only for entertainment, it is for the soul. If we understand this message, how music is performed in Indian classical music through ages, probably it also in a way teaches us the harmony, the brotherhood, and the oneness, and we are all one kind of situation. I hope this happens sometime very soon.
Yes, sir. We all hope that. So that's my one more question. Last question that I want to ask. That what advice you want to give to next generation?
Swarnali, I am not a big person to give advice, but I can only request all of them to listen to classical music of India. Because I can only talk about music because music is something which I have been practicing. Classical music of India is undoubtedly one of the greatest. Not many people know the beauty of Indian classical music. If they listen more frequently about Indian classical music, then they know what they were missing. Right? It will teach them the sanskar. The sanskar is something very special where there is no direct English translation for sanskar. It's very difficult to translate this one. So ultimately, through music, the global harmony, and if there is something which has no linguistic bar, there is no discrimination or regionalized discrimination or dharma-adharit thing, it is music. Music has no religion, no language, nothing. Ultimately, if at all there is something which is universal language, it has to be music.
And the last question, that is, as you told that in your childhood that you already achieved the 5 garland, it was your dream, but 1 year that you worked for it. So, what dream is yet to achieve for you?
very difficult to answer this question, but ultimately I used to hear my father, all my elders talk about the harmony in the society. Now so much of division everywhere. You belong to this, I belong to this, he belongs to that. I don't want that to happen. We're all ultimately one. If music can helps society to achieve this oneness, I will be the happiest one.
Thank you. We all need that somehow in our life. Thank you so much, sir. Here we are going to wrap this episode. And thank you so much for sharing your words, your time, and it feels like we are in time travel. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm immensely happy spending time with you and your colleagues today, because you come from such a illustrious, reputed institution, and I wish you all the best, and I'm very happy that your department at Philos has this kind of some very innovative things happening. I take this opportunity to give you much love and more compliments to all the faculty members and your administration, and one day I will be able to come and spend some time with all of them.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care.
We are blessed.